want to talk to you about the mindset around this cancer recovery. And I call it cancer recovery rather than cancer or my cancer. I see it as a recovery. The moment that I understood that I had cancer and I had to take this into my own two hands. Who else was going to heal this and fix this situation other than me? I am of the mindset that there are very strong reasons as to why I ended up in this condition. And I can say that I wasn't looking after myself properly. A shaman of 15 years, therapist, looking after everybody coming at me with woes and difficulties and problems and so forth. I was looking after them and I was doing a great job, but I wasn't looking after myself. I wasn't eating as well as I could be. I wasn't cleansing myself energetically as well as I could be. I was taking on far too much people's problems and difficulties, and that isn't good. Stress levels high, not sleeping enough, working too hard. On top of that, there's trauma that has never been addressed in my life. I've been living my whole life with the effects of deep trauma. One only has to look quickly and briefly at Dr. Gabor Mate's work with trauma to realize that we are all carrying trauma from a very young age. He says, show me one person who isn't. Now, this is definitely the case for me. I had an horrific childhood. Lots of violence and discourse around, and this totally affected me during my life. I put on a brave face and a smile for most people, and I found that I could get away with sort of operating this front. However, inside it was a different story, and behind closed doors, anyone that really knew me understood that I was quite troubled in myself as well, and not very happy. And so, hence a lot of patterns and a lot of things that I had to address, but I never actually did. I made it right up until this last couple of years without really addressing any of it, which is quite remarkable, and yet seemingly holding it together very well. This is incredible, but it's often the case with people, and especially people who are in sort of like the medicine scene or the complementary medicine scene. It can often be the case that they are holding a lot in. They're putting a lot out and they're holding a lot in. Now, okay, for me, I believe my early childhood trauma really ended up catching up with me. And it did spectacularly when my son died 5 years ago, my eldest son. I didn't know what to do with it. I was so horrified. That I just bottled it up. I just shelved it away. I just couldn't believe that it had happened to him, that he lost his life. A sweet, beautiful soul, my son. And he lost his life in a very unfortunate circumstance. And when it happened, I just had to carry on working. I needed money. I needed to bring things in for the family. I needed to keep going. Much as it was so painful, I knew it was painful. I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to get into it. I didn't want to believe he'd gone. And I did all sorts of things. I made loads of mistakes. My addictions got extreme at that time. Behind closed doors, I was drinking and smoking. I was trying to suppress the anger, the guilt, the shame, the loss, the sorrow, I didn't want to face it. And people say, why did this person get a cancer condition? Well, I can tell you that all of this is why. I didn't look after myself. I had this early childhood trauma. I had horrific circumstances some 5 years ago. And all of this compounded, I believe, created a really unpleasant internal environment. And with that internal environment comes great difficulty. I could feel it happening. This is, my particular cancer is in the bladder. Why was I pissed off? Well, from all of these things happening, even though I have a fantastic life and a great life, a beautiful young family, my middle son, my elder son's brother in Australia, beautiful, beautiful young man. Really, God's graced me so many beautiful things. Huge circle of friends, a big presence on social media, lots of people loving me and being ever so nice and kind in my years. And I've made my own profession and I found my own way. However, these difficulties are very real and very deep. And now I'm having to face them. Now I'm having to do something with all of that. So part of the journey to my cancer recovery is to acknowledge the trauma and work with the trauma. It's part of my cancer recovery is to take in new nutrition. And that comes also in the thoughts and the ways that I actually grace myself as well. It's okay to give my physical body nutrition, but what about my mind? What about my soul? So this is what the deep nutrition process is about. I have to sleep well. I have to live well. I have to think well. I have to get great oxygen. I have to work with myself. I cannot suppress these things anymore. I must iron these things out. If I don't look at one or another of them, then this is not holistic. It's not complete. These things have to be right across the board, and they have to be very powerful, very effective, and they have to happen now. So, again, me talking about this condition, I hope some of the words actually strike home to you. Maybe you're watching this because you have a cancer condition, or maybe it's someone that you know. But please, 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 help me out. It would help me out to know that others are watching this and supporting this. I'm 7 months into this journey. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I pray that it's going to be successful. And I want to show you what I'm doing along the way. So please like and subscribe and follow this. There's going to be so many links. Just as I've done for the nutritional supplements, I've listed every single thing I'm taking. Just as I've done for the other videos, I'm making, I'm explicitly describing what I'm doing, how I'm doing, when I'm doing. And so take advantage of this, please. Even if you haven't got a cancer condition, even if this just simply doesn't apply to you and you're just watching it for interest's sake, know that I'm going to be describing the exercise routine that I adopt, and you can too. I'm doing things currently that most 20-year-olds would find pretty hard to do. I'm going to show you how I can build up that stamina and resilience and really push the boat out, so you could actually end up fighting fit and quite healthy for this as well. So thank you for watching and listening. I hope this is helpful. Aho.